What's going on YouTube? It's Tahir here, back today with another video. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how our world is so fucked up, to put it nicely. We live in a world where we do everything backwards, and it's very surprising. And don't get me wrong, I was a huge part of that. I truly was a huge part of that. However, I'm now starting to see the consequences of not just my actions, but the actions that other people are taking, and it is not fun. I do apologise for my throat. I think I've got a little bit of a sore throat. However, I'm still trying to record this video, and then I also do apologise for my face. I've just got some eczema, but it is starting to heal slowly. I know it doesn't seem that way, but I feel a lot better compared to how I've been in the last couple of months. So, we do all sorts of stuff backwards, from eating the wrong foods, to wearing the wrong clothes, to doing, I would say, degenerate habits, such as partying and clubbing. Now, I can't really comment too much on that because I don't really do that sort of stuff, but from what I hear, some of it is pretty scary. And that's what I wanted to talk about, is I don't want you to lead that sort of lifestyle, because it will just fuck your life up, to put it simply. I know when I was at university, I used to have a lot of junk food. That was my sort of crutch, my vice. And it didn't really lead me anywhere, if I'm being completely honest with you. In fact, it fucked up my health even more. And it's difficult, because once you get into them sorts of bad habits, it's very difficult to break out of it. To really break out of it, you need some huge willpower. And that's something that I've kind of struggled with. Now I am getting a lot better. So, a bit of an example today. So, what did I eat today? I had broccoli, kiwi, and water. And then I had I think I had an omelette. That's pretty healthy. Whereas back in the past, I would have had pizza, burgers, chips, chocolates, crisps, Pringles. If you look at the ingredients on a Pringles can, it's pretty wild. They use artificial flavors, artificial coloring, artificial preservatives. I think potassium sorbate, which is pretty harmful to the body, is one of the ingredients. They use a lot of rubbish that just fucks up your health. And all because these big corporations want to make money. They don't give a shit about you or me. They only care about themselves. And that's what I want you guys to kind of realize, is a lot of the stuff that you see going on, the primary goal is money. Now, I spoke about money in my previous video, but that was something positive, where I spoke about how to not think about money to make money. Just let it naturally flow to you. And money, this is the other side, where corporations will fuck you over to earn money. And I can't believe, to this day, I didn't really see that until only a couple of years ago. And by then I was too hooked onto the junk food and whatnot. Now I have slowly been getting off of it, and while my skin condition looks pretty rough at the minute, it's not actually as bad as it looks. It's been much worse. Even my neck, you can see a little bit. And that's the benefit of having good food. It kind of lowers the inflammation, it lowers the histamine responses. But when you have something like chocolate which has sugar in it, that kind of spikes it back up. Or I don't know, flavoured coffee as another example. You get the point. What I would suggest to you guys, if you guys are doing some of these bad habits, is to get off of these bad habits as soon as you can, because the quality of your life will improve for the better. Now, I kind of speak from experience when I say that walking is really good for you. Walking is something that I actually enjoy, because not only do I get a breath of fresh air, it just feels like it rejuvenates my entire body. And it just helps so much with my circadian rhythm, and it just helps regulate my the reactions that go on in my body, and it just helps me feel good. A bit like for those of you that eat steak, that's another good example. You also want to get off the bad food, replace it with stuff like steak, eggs. They call eggs a natural multivitamin. You want to get your daily dose of sunlight. You want to be able to sleep on time, and you want to be able to get up on time. What I mean by that is, so to start with, as a minimum, get 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, where you're going through all your cycles. And then you want to be waking up and going to sleep at the same time. In fact, you want to be doing everything at the same time, really, with just a little bit of a leeway. What I tend to find with that is your body doesn't get disrupted when you do that. When you don't do that, you just don't feel comfortable. I know I don't. And I'm willing to bet it's the same for the majority of you guys as well. It's hard when your routine kind of changes, and I get it. For some of us guys, it has to change because we're on such weird schedules due to our jobs. For some of us, I know for those of you that work in the retail sector like myself, sometimes you have to go do 1 o'clock start, finish at 10 o'clock. Other days you have to go in at 8 o'clock, finish at 5 o'clock. So I get it. It does completely change and vary from day to day. However, you should try and minimize the amount of disruptions that you're having. Now, it's also one of the reasons why I actually want to get out of the retail industry. Not only do I find it boring, even though the company I work for is really good, and the people I work for, they're pretty good. However, the industry in general and just the job and how mundane and monotonous the job is, it's just not worth it, I don't think. Plus, the salary that they give for the expectation is a bit ridiculous. And I'm willing to bet that's the majority of jobs, not just the retail sector. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I'm experimenting with this YouTube stuff. I've just got, I don't know if you noticed the background, I'm in my room, but I've got some better lighting. And I'm starting to get a lot more confident. Like, before I wouldn't even speak in my room, because I'd be scared of like my brothers or my parents hearing, but now I seem to slowly not care as much, because I know you have to do the uncomfortable thing to grow. You don't grow being comfortable, and that's the same as anything in life. You always want to be challenged, you always want to be stretched, healthily of course, and you always want to be at your best. Now, it can be difficult, but yeah. So, there obviously some of the reasons why I wanted to get out of the retail sector. And again, that's something else that's kind of bad for us, even though unfortunately a lot of us have to do it, is when you have to work for someone else, you have to accommodate to their schedules. They'll set the times for you. You just have to just almost in a way be a puppy and say yes. And that's not really the sort of life that I want to live, if that makes sense. I want to be my own boss. And to do that, you have to grind and just make a start. There's nothing more powerful than a man who tries and tries and tries and persists through failure. And that's exactly the man that I'm trying to be. I want to make something of myself, and I would encourage the same for all of you guys. I think the one big problem with these bad habits is that it's made us think very small, and so we don't really dream big like we should be. And as a result, then we become very confused. And then when we see people achieving greatness and really big things, we think we can't do it. It's all because you're eating the wrong food, you're wearing the wrong shit, you're performing the wrong activities. There's three things right there. And if you just eliminate the bad habits, your mind will become so much more clearer. And I cannot emphasize that enough. Just quit the bad habits. I mean, today, just having fruit, I feel fucking great. I know I don't look the best. If you ever look, eczema, it is eczema and it is pretty bad. However, I feel like I'm on the path to recovery as long as I eat the right stuff. Now, if I start eating the wrong stuff again, then it'll just aggravate and make the condition worse. However, if I eat the right shit, get the right amount of sleep, drink plenty of water, they're the sorts of stuff that will help you. Not having Pepsi Max, which has aspartame in it. And by the way, aspartame, I am fairly certain it's almost, I believe they're trying to, they assume or they're thinking about considering it a type 2 diabetic cause. So it's something that, let me rephrase that. It's something that can potentially cause type 2 diabetes, it can cause cancer. Either way, you wouldn't want that sort of shit in your system. At the absolute worst case scenario, you'd want a sweetener such as stevia, which is derived from plant sources, but even then, I'd be very wary. But it is a much better option compared to the garbage that we've been given in the forms of Pepsi Max, Coke Zero, etc., Sprite. They all claim no sugar, but they're filling it up with all sorts of other rubbish that are actually worse for your health than sugar. And sugar's pretty bad to begin with. So, yeah, and then another thing I can talk about is the clothes that you're wearing. So if you're wearing stuff like, I don't know, plastic clothing, that's not going to be really good for your skin either. You want to wear cotton clothing, stuff that is comfortable, stuff that's not going to cause you discomfort. And you want the body to be at its most relaxed, its most natural state. And you won't really get that if you're not doing the habits as they were intended to be done. What I mean by that, sleeping for 8 hours at roughly the same times every day, eating the right shit, or eating the right food, getting enough sunlight in the morning. And then if you're going to have supplementation, so something like vitamin D, because it kind of because you get it from sunlight and it has the same sort of effect, you want to have vitamin D in the morning. That's what I've found works to be really good. If you have it in the night time, you're going to fuck up your circadian rhythm. And yeah, it's very deep, this video is, but it kind of addresses all the problems that we face in today's day and age. I mean, we have fertility issues. If you look at birth rates, they're going down faster than ever. We have people on birth control pills, and that shit is finding its way back into our water supply, which many of us are drinking, and then where our estrogen levels are rising, and then we're fucked up. So you just want to be careful about what you do and what you don't do. And you want to ensure you are doing all of the right habits to become a much better version of yourself. And if you're not doing the right habits, then I suggest you start today. It's better late than never, but you want to start. You don't want to leave it too late. Otherwise, then you'll just think you'll be too far addicted, and you might have gone past the point where illnesses are irreversible. And trust me, you do not want to get to that stage. You do not want to get to that stage. It will be hard. I completely understand it will be hard. And the reason I think it will be hard, or the reason why it will be hard, is because a lot of these habits, such as eating bad food, they obviously raise your dopamine levels, and you're now so addicted and so dependent on them that it will just become hard to get off of them. But a tip I can give you is your taste buds, I believe, reset every 2 weeks. If I'm wrong, then someone can correct me in the comments, but that's what I believe. And your taste buds reset every 2 weeks. Try and work towards a healthy diet and not an unhealthy one, because that will, I promise you, make you succeed in the future. You don't realize, if you put the right fuel in your body, what that can do for you. So like today, I'm just turned this video on and I'm just free flowing, and that's all because I've had the right food today. It's magic, but it works. Right, that's all I've got. Just steer away from the bad habits, get onto the good habits, and watch your life transform. Thanks for watching.